guys, and welcome back. Well, we've learned a little bit about that shooter at the St. Louis High School. They say that the family members of the 19-year-old shooter, Orlando Harris, they grew concerned about his mental health, and they seem to have did everything right. Now, this is what the St. Louis Police Commissioner said. They contacted us and said he had firearms. Now, the mother at the time wanted it out of the house. The officers, in their response, handed it over to somebody else, an adult who was lawfully able to possess it. Now, at this time, the teen's family also committed him to a mental institution. Yet, somehow, Harris managed to get access to an AR-15 style rifle and 600 rounds of ammo. Isn't that something? And on Monday, he took his deadly arsenal to Central Visual and Performing Arts High School and wreaked havoc on his alma mater. Yeah, he graduated there, I believe it was last year. Now, when his rampage was over, a talented student and a heroic teacher were dead. Now, Harris was killed by officers as well. And community members are stunned as to why the proactive interventions described by police didn't seem to work. Now, they said that his family made every effort. Now, in addition to removing Harris' firearms from the house and getting mental health treatments for the teen, Gunman's family took additional steps to help prevent trouble. They would search his room on occasions because they were concerned. They were constantly in touch with medical providers who was providing medical care for him. Now, Harris' family also had a system to track the items he received in the mail and monitored his interactions with others to try to ensure he was engaging with people and felt loved. Now, police chief said, I've got to give credit to the family. They made every effort that they felt that they reasonably could. And I think that's why the mother is so heartbroken over the families that paid for his episode. Now, after the gunman forced his way into the school and opened fire, investigators found a notebook and a handwritten note left in the car that he drove. Now, the letter said, I don't have any friends. I don't have any family. I never had a girlfriend. I never had a social life. I've been an isolated loner my entire life. This was the perfect storm for a mass shooter. Now, the notebook also revealed that Harris seemed to feel a disconnect with the school community and had targeted his former high school. Now, the gunman also wrote that his family didn't know about his plans. Police chief said the family never had access to the notebook. You know, mental health is a difficult thing. It's hard to tell when somebody who's going to be violent or act out, or if they're just struggling, they're depressed, and they might self-harm. Now, it's just a terrible thing, and it's hard to try and figure out what might have been in somebody's mind. Now, this is what the police commissioner said. Now, after Harris burst into the school, a school official got on the intercom and an urgent coded message, Miles Davis is in the building. Now, that was the signal to let everybody know that an active shooter was in the building. By this time, it was real. Now, teacher Christy Faustic heard the phrase and locked her classroom door. Less than a minute later, someone started violently josting the handle, trying to get in. Now, Alex Marcia's health teacher, Jean Kuxka, also locked her classroom door. But the gunman managed to shoot his way in. He did shoot Miss Kuxka, and I just closed my eyes. This is a student named Alex said. I didn't really want to see anything else, but then as I thought he was leaving, I opened my eyes to see him standing there making eye contact with me. And then after he made eye contact, he just left. Now, students start jumping from the windows to escape. Her teacher, Kukska, was killed. The 61-year-old died trying to shield her students from the gunman. Now, a student, 15-year-old Alexandria Bell, was also killed. The avid dancer was less than a month away from celebrating her sweet 16. Now, the school's dean of arts, Manfred McGee, ran for his life after a bullet missed him in the hallway. He hid in the bathroom not knowing his own 16-year-old son had been shot. Then he ran to his son's health class. Now he said, when I first saw my son, I saw a massive hole in his pants leg, and all I could think of was, my God, what did he get shot with? Now McGee used his belt to stop the bleeding. Now the gunman was wearing a chest rig with 7 magazines of ammunition. He also carried more ammunition in a bag and dumped additional magazines on the stairway and in the corridors along the way. It doesn't take long to burn through a magazine if you're looking at a long corridor or up or down a stairway or into a classroom. Now the commissioner was credited a quick police response, locked doors, and prior training for preventing more deaths. Now it was by the grace of God and that the officers were as close as they were and responded in the manner that they did. Now 7 security personnel were also at the school when the gunman arrived, but the shooter did not enter through a checkpoint where security guards were stationed. The security guards stationed in the district schools are not armed, but mobile officers who respond to the call at the school were. Now the mass shooting raised questions about whether it would have made a difference if the first person to confront the gunman was also armed. Now Matt Davis is the president of St. Louis Public School Board, had a blunt answer. The assailant had a high-powered rifle, so much so that he could force himself into a secured building. The building is riddled with bullets. I don't know how much firepower it would have took to stop that person. You saw the police respond. It was massive. It was overwhelming. I know what would have been different is if this high-powered rifle was not available to this individual. And that's true. That's true. And you know, I know his family is feeling so hurt because, like the commissioner said, they did all they could do. They sought mental health attention. They tried to get the guns away from him. Now, you know, it must be very easy to go out and get an assault rifle, and that's what's the problem. That's the problem. It shouldn't be easy to get an assault rifle. I'm just praying for the families of all these children and the teacher that was killed and the child that was killed. I'm keeping them on our prayer list, and I'm praying for everyone involved, even the students that were shot, and even the students just had to witness this kind. I mean, can you imagine what these children are going through? You're talking about PTSD. I just pray for all these kids. I do, because this was such a tragedy. And I hope you'll be praying for them too. Guys, what is it going to take to get this to not be so familiar? Alright, guys. Press that comment button and we will discuss. Thank you so very much for watching my video. I hope that you will like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And as always, imparting. Be blessed, y'all.